You're not bullish enough, at least that's what the best chart analysts keep saying. And honestly, I mean that quite literally. I can't help but feel for the people who just don't get it, the perpetual bears who are stuck in their mindset. The thing is, time will pass. And one day they'll look back and wonder how they missed such an incredible opportunity. Right now, the opportunities in front of us are massive. It's hard to overstate that. Of course, no one can predict the future with 100% certainty, and I'll always acknowledge that. But when we talk about probabilities, the most likely scenario here is this. The market takes off. Historically, whenever we've been in a similar position, Bitcoin has gone on its major parabolic rally. Altcoin season follows and XRP makes jaws drop. If you've been waiting for a big moment, this could very well be it. Here's the next part, and I'm excited to share insights from 10 different XRP chart analysts in this latest video. I've got to say, and I know I've mentioned this a lot lately, but it's really important to understand why this matters. These are analysts I've been following for years, and let me tell you, they don't usually all agree at the same time about what's coming. Well, right now, they're all saying that we're at a point where something big is about to happen, something that could be life-changing for people. You just don't see this kind of consensus from them very often. When they do agree, though, I pay close attention because honestly, they're almost always right. The vast majority of the time, their predictions are spot on. And no, they're not copying each other. They've come to these conclusions independently. They're all saying the same thing. Big things are ahead and prices are set to soar. Before we dive in, let me be upfront. I don't have a financial background, and this isn't financial advice. Seriously, don't make any buy or sell decisions based on what I say or write. As I'm recording this Sunday, June 6th, 2025, XRP is sitting at $2.27, and we've seen a little Sunday pump. Check this out. The 24-hour low was $2.21, and it climbed as high as $2.29. Pretty cool, right? But hey, any seasoned chart analyst will tell you, never trust a Sunday pump. I don't think today is the day XRP kicks off its epic rise, but it feels like we're getting really close. Bitcoin has been showing some action too. It's been kind of pumpy today, sitting at $19,246.00 and even hitting $19,647.00 at one point. Honestly, we're at that point where you could wake up any day now and see the market taking off. It's not a matter of if it's definitely going to be sooner rather than later. Check out this post from chart analyst Mustache. He's sharing a big Bitcoin update. Here's the scoop on the Bitcoin USD chart. The relative strength index, RSI, has just re-entered the overbought zone with the latest monthly close. And here's why that's exciting. Every single time this has happened over the last 12 years, Bitcoin and altcoins have seen a strong rally. Mustache is saying, you're not bullish enough, folks. And honestly, he's got a point. The RSI just broke above 70. And historically, when it gets this hot, it's been a signal that things are about to get wild for crypto. So what do you think? Will this time be different? Personally, I wouldn't bet on it. I really think things are about to get crazy. Bitcoin looks like it's gearing up for one final massive parabolic rally. And when it does, the altcoins are going to follow. Honestly, I'm all about the alts right now. For me, that's where the real life-changing potential is. And I'm guessing a lot of people feel the same way. It's pretty obvious at this point. That's where the biggest opportunities are as we move forward. Take a look at this. Bitcoin's in overbought territory. Now, just to clear things up, when an asset hits overbought, it doesn't mean it's going to crash tomorrow. It can stay overbought for a while. And that's where a lot of people get it wrong. So no need to panic. This isn't a sign of instant danger. XRP can stay in overbought territory for weeks or even months, and that's something worth keeping an eye on. When XRP gets back into that zone, I'll be sure to let you know. It's definitely something to watch because even if it stays overbought for a while, there can still be great opportunities ahead. Here's a great post from chart analyst Credible Crypto, one of the best in the game. He shared this with his 469,500 followers, and I just had to talk about it. It's an XRP/USD chart, and let me tell you, he couldn't be more clear about his thoughts on it. And I'm all in for this. Here's what he said. XRP is one of the few coins in the market besides Bitcoin showing the clearest and cleanest price action, especially with its strong launch off of $0.50. XRP has now been consolidating above its previous all-time high monthly close for 8 months. Can you believe it? 8 months. Time has flown, and during most of that time, we've just been consolidating. Here's the exciting part. Someone once said, and I completely agree, that the longer something consolidates, the bigger the breakout when it finally happens. So what do you think will happen to XRP when the market takes off? I guess XRP is going to outperform, no question. As I read the last line of his post, he said, "You're not bullish enough." And honestly, he's right. He really is. This is the kind of message I keep coming across, and it stands out, especially since he doesn't usually post like this, not in this way. But when he said, "You're not bullish enough," complete with some perfectly placed clapping emojis, it just felt like the right time to make a statement like that. Couldn't be more clear. The most likely outcome here is life-changing wealth from XRP. Here's a post from chart analyst X-Force Global about XRP. He points out that during the last cycle, XRP moved sideways for about 7 months in wave 4. And guess what? We're now 7 months into the current cycle. So what's next? Well, everything happening with XRP right now is totally normal, historically speaking. There's a precedent for XRP to have a big price burst, followed by several months of sideways movement. If we look at the last 2 cycles, there's typically a second leg up, and then that's it for the cycle. We're still got that one in play. And here's the exciting part. The second leg in each of the last 2 cycles has been way more impressive than the first when it comes to US dollar price. Now, if we're talking percentage gains, that's a whole other story. But in terms of pure dollar increases, the second pump in both cycles completely outshines the first. It's pretty wild. If history decides to repeat or even just rhyme, we could be in for something really special. Hey, here's an update from chart analyst Dom on Bitcoin. The price has been battling it out with the $18,500 0 cents level for almost 2 weeks now, which he's marked as the bullish flip zone. At first glance, it looks like Bitcoin might be gearing up to test the high soon. Oh, and just a quick note, Dom posted this earlier today at 11:21 a.m. Central Time. He's also mentioned he wouldn't be surprised if we see more sideways movement here, but an all-time high push seems just around the corner, possibly within the next week or so, but definitely in the weeks ahead. He's basically saying he's not locking in a specific timeline here, just that based on his experience, it makes sense for Bitcoin to potentially go on a massive run soon. If it does take off and gain some serious momentum, it would align with the global M2 trends. Raoul Pal has been pointing out that looking at how the global M2 chart is playing out, Bitcoin could hit somewhere around $140,000 0 cents by July. I remember him mentioning this over the past couple of months. Now, of course, there's no guarantee this will happen. He's just saying that if things track a certain way, we could see some exciting price action in July. And while summers are typically dull for crypto, the 4th year of a bull run, which we're in now, is a totally different story. Historically, it's anything but boring. It's when things really heat up. It's not so crazy to think we could see some big moves this month. That's why I keep saying any day you could wake up and see the markets taking off. Speaking of which, here's what Dom had to say about XRP. XRP update. A week later, the price has been steadily grinding higher, finally breaking above the 160-day downtrend. This is the first time we've seen it hold above that level and even retest on a lower time frame. Right now, XRP is trading above all the major VWAPs I mentioned last week. Dom points out that this is a key moment for bulls to step up. If they do, it could push XRP to $2.40 or beyond. There's just so much coming together right now. So many factors are aligning perfectly. Any one of them could kick things off, but the combination of everything makes it even more exciting. So many assets are primed and ready to move, not just individual ones. You can look at the total market chart, total 2, total 3, the others chart, you name it. Everywhere I look, I see chart experts pointing out how everything is set up so perfectly. So, and then there's the DXY goals pricing, global M2 and more. Everything is lining up just how you'd hope or expect. It's all here. That's why I keep saying, even though I can't predict exactly what's going to happen price-wise for XRP or anything else, it just makes sense to stay optimistic. All signs point to the likelihood that we're heading toward an absolutely wild alt season. Here's a cool post from Crypto Wizard that's showing a Bitcoin USD chart. And it's wild how similar the current movement is to what happened between 2015 and 2017. The chart is forming in almost the exact same way. The only thing missing now, the rally. Patience is key. If you look at the chart where they point the mouse, that's where we are now, 2025. Back in 2017, they marked a similar spot saying we are here. And after that, Bitcoin skyrocketed. It's exciting to think that we might be in the same position again. According to Crypto Wizard, the chart is shaping up for that final big move. We're just waiting for that final push now. Things are lining up perfectly. Take a look at this. An ETH slash USD chart. If you don't hold ETH, no worries. You don't even have to like it. But historically, ETH tends to kick off alt season. That's why it's worth paying attention. It's hard to ignore. Check this out. ETH is showing signs of repeating its 2020 patterns. The clues are there, and it looks strikingly similar. Now, all that's left is the rally, so patience is key. Looking back at the last cycle, we were in a similar position, and guess what? It played out exactly as expected. It feels like we're heading in the same direction again. And then there's XRP Crypto Wizard highlights the XRP slash USD chart, showing a weekly breakout. It's looking inevitable. Don't fight the trend. XRP has been consolidating for 32 weeks now, steadily building strength. It's just waiting for that one big bullish weekly candle to make its move. An ascending triangle like this can only hold for so long before it breaks. And when it does, XRP is set to explode. Think about it. XRP has been gearing up for nearly half a year. It's only a matter of time before it takes off. And with everything else poised to rally, do you really think XRP will sit this one out? That doesn't make much sense, does it? The momentum is there, the setup is strong, and XRP is ready to go. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Chart analyst Bobby is predicting some exciting moves ahead. He believes Bitcoin could soon be trading upwards of $130,000, 0 cents. XRP is also in the spotlight, aiming for that all-important $5 mark. If you built your positions during the bear market, you're probably feeling pretty good right now. And if you're building them now, you'll likely be sitting pretty soon too. The key takeaway here, patience. That's the recurring message from experienced analysts who've been in the game for years. They stress that it's only a matter of time. So take a deep breath, trust the process, and let the market do its thing. Sometimes the best approach is to step back, let it play out, and watch the results fall right into place. Oh, I'm definitely watching it. Here's the cool thing about this. Once you buy, you literally don't have to do a thing. Seriously, nothing. Now, I get it. Doing nothing can be tough for some people, but honestly, I'm pretty good at it. I also totally understand why it's hard to just sit tight when the market moves, especially if it's going down. It's natural to feel like you need to step in, tweak your positions, or make changes. It's like, this is so stressful. I have to do something to react to what's happening. Believe me, I've been there. When it comes to investing, history shows that people who constantly tinker with their portfolios, trying to outsmart the market, usually don't do well. The truth is, we're often our own worst enemies in investing. That's why after I make my investments, I do absolutely nothing. I let things play out and let the chips fall where they may. I've learned to take myself out of the equation because honestly, I'm my biggest risk when it comes to making investment decisions. And let's face it, that's true for most of us, even if we don't like to admit it. The more we try to control things, the more likely we are to mess them up. So here's my approach. I buy, I hold, and I step back. I trust the process. Over time, markets grow, the crypto space expands, and more money flows in. By staying out of my own way, I give my investments the best chance to thrive. I've found that if you let time do the hard work, things naturally become more valuable as the years go by. It's not rocket science. It's actually pretty straightforward. That's why I don't have a course or anything to sell you. There's no big secret here. That's really all there is to it. The tricky part, most people struggle with the idea of doing nothing and letting time work its magic. On the surface, it sounds simple, and it is, but in practice, it's tough for people to sit back and stay patient. Believe me, I get it. Here's an interesting post from Crypto shared with his 1.7 million followers. Now, here's the twist. He's not a fan of XRP, but guess what? He still buys it. Why? Because he knows it's going higher. He even pointed out that the 5-year XRP chart shows a major decision point looming. When it broke out, he called it, and he was right. XRP did go higher, just like he predicted. And let's be real, he knows it's going to keep climbing. This guy may not love XRP, but at least he acknowledges the potential. Even if he's not a fan, he knows it's about to make some big moves. Here's an interesting post from chart analyst about XRP and where we might be in the current cycle. Steph is diving into the final XRP wave and comparing it to what happened back in 2017. See these 3 green bars? They haven't appeared yet, but Steph believes the next big surge is coming soon. That's the part that's next. In 2017, right before XRP's second major pump, it broke out of a triangle pattern leading into early 2018. Chart-wise, that's exactly where we seem to be right now. Honestly, almost every chart analyst I follow is seeing the same thing. They've all drawn some version of this scenario and are on the same page. It just makes sense. Check out this update from chart analyst Zoom. He points out that today's the weekly close for XRP and it's battling to stay above. He's been saying for a while now that we're nearing the end of this triangle pattern. And once we hit the apex, things are going to take off. Looks like he's on board with this thing's going to rip camp 2. Here's a great update from Crypto Insight UK. The chart they shared focuses on the key time frame starting around June 22nd, so just a couple of weeks ago. They pointed out that XRP has been showing higher lows consistently as it moves within the range they've been discussing. The exciting part, they've set a breakout target of around $2.30, and everything seems to be trending in the right direction. According to them, XRP could break out any day now. They've been sharing tons of posts explaining why, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Check out this post from World of Charts. XRP is retesting after a successful breakout, and there's hope for a steady recovery in the coming days. Another XRP chart analyst is feeling optimistic, predicting it could climb back up to around $3 pretty soon. Check out this update from chart analyst Dali Martinez. According to them, if XRP breaks above $2.33, it could shoot up to $2.60. And honestly, that's pretty in line with what Crypto Insight UK has been saying too. It feels like everyone agrees on this. It's going to happen. We just need to hang tight for a little longer. But the good news is not too long. During a bear market, it can feel like you're stuck waiting for years, knowing that patience is the only option. But that's not where we are right now, or at least we're living in such an exciting time right now. Any day could be the one where everything takes off. It makes every morning a little more thrilling, doesn't it? Waking up, checking in, seeing what's happening. It's all unfolding right before our eyes. It's happening, folks. Take XRP, for example. It's wild to see its new regular price sitting comfortably above $2. Never happened before, but here we are. This is real life. That number you see on your screen, yep, that's XRP casually hanging out above $2 like it's no big deal. But trust me, one day that's going to look cheap. Fast forward 10 years and people will be wishing they could have gotten in at this price. Mark my words. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't make any decisions based on solely on what I say. Always do your own research. It's super important.